Hello and welcome to this first lecture in this course on data governance. My name is Linus, and this first lecture we will take a look at what data governance is. So today's table of contents are what is data governance. We will take a quick look at the data life cycle. We will look at some processes behind the data governance framework. And finally, we will take a look at the business drivers behind implementing a data governance policy in an organization. So, with that, let's get started. The sources for this course and this lecture are the books Data Governance, the Definitive Guide, and the Data Management Association Data Management Book of Knowledge. And so what is data governance? Well, data governance is a data management function to ensure the quality, the integrity, security and usability of data collected by an organization. This is done by ensuring that the data is available to the right people. The data can be used for its intended purpose. The data conforms to regulations and standards. The data is correct, up-to-date and consistent. The data is accessed only by permitted users in permitted ways. And all accesses, including changes, are logged. It should be noted that since no two organizations are exactly alike, and each organization should adopt a governance model that supports its business strategy and organizational culture. So when creating a data governance program, that might lead an organization to think differently about its data, to become data-centric. And this is done by managing its data as a corporate asset rather than a byproduct of business processes. And this is actually a core tenet in the idea of data governance, to think differently about your data as an organization. It is about a culture of data more than any specific tool. So a data governance program is an ongoing process, not a project with a defined end. And this requires organizational commitment from the top down. The whole organization must be completely on board with this data governance program, and the activities related to the data governance program must be embedded in the day-to-day practices of developing software, analyzing data, and managing risks. When establishing a data governance policy in an organization, processes pertaining to the whole data life cycle must be considered. From the creation of the data, through the processing, the storage, the usage, to the final stages of archiving and destroying the data when it's no longer of any use. So these are the phases of the data life cycle, and we will take a closer look at just this life cycle in lecture number 4. But this is, so we've all seen it already. This will come back later in the course. When building a data governance framework, there are a number of processes to be considered. These could be, often are, the processes of data discovery and assessment, data classification and organization, data cataloging and metadata management, data quality management, data access management, auditing, and data protection. We will take a little closer look at each one of these processes right here. So, as the quantity of data available to an organization grows, there is an increased risk of ungoverned migration of data assets. This is the potential loss of knowledge of what data assets are actually available to the organization. What data do we actually have? The data discovery and assessment process is used to identify and organize data assets to trace and record the data origin and lineage, transformation, and metadata. The process of data classification and organization can help categorize the data and also to infer whether the data contains sensitive information so that it can be classified by level of sensitivity, be it personal, private, confidential, etc. During the process of data cataloging and metadata management, a data catalog is created which contains metadata and information about sensitivity levels. And when handled correctly, the data catalog can be the way for data consumers to find the data they need for a certain task. We will take a closer look at this in next week during the lecture on tools. The process of data quality management provides a means of documenting the expectations of data quality, as well as the tools and techniques for ensuring that the data quality is as expected. Examples of this is creating controls for validation, enabling quality monitoring and reporting, and tracking data incidents. During the process of data access management, you define identities, groups, and roles, and you assign these to users based on their access rights to ensure that only authorized individuals and systems have access to certain data assets. When auditing, that's regular audits, that's checking for quality, access, and transformation history to ensure that issues of data security can be identified early. And we can see an example of this in the news recently here in southern Sweden, where an employee of the district court in Malmö has been detained suspected of accessing unauthorized data. And these accesses were discovered during a routine check of the access logs during a routine audit. And as we see here in this screenshot from the article from the newspaper Sydsvenskan, the communicator at Malmö District Court, Fredrik Lassen, says, "We discovered it ourselves during a routine check and filed a police report. We continuously check our logs of what our employees have accessed, and we found something we suspected was wrong." This is my translation of the Swedish article, and the original is on top here. Yes, so that's an example of how regular audits, routine checks of logs can find security issues early. And in the event of a data leak, additional layers of protection, such as encryption at rest and in flight, data masking, and permanent deletions are all tools to ensure that when the data is leaked, it can't be read. Those are the processes of behind a data governance framework. And finally, we will take a look at the business drivers, most common business drivers behind implementing a data governance policy. The most common driver for data governance is regulatory compliance. However, the explosion in machine learning, AI, and data science has created an additional driving force. The two main focus areas behind implementing a data governance program is reducing risk, such as data security and privacy, and improving processes, regulatory compliance, data quality improvement, and metadata management. That concludes this first lecture in this course on data governance. I thank you for your attention, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.